All right, welcome back to It's Time Picks. We've got UFC 301 Pantoja versus Erceg on tap for Saturday night. 14 fight card. Everything is going to suck compared to UFC 300, so
Oh,
it's
yeah.
very hard to get excited for really anything now. But I am always excited for a fight card. Joey, how you feeling?
Yeah, I'm also excited for a fight card. And the one thing going forward that's going to suck, we're going to be excited about future fights, but we're always going to think about it's still not going to get close to 300, though. That's how my mind's
Yeah,
been going ever since 300 ended.
yeah,
But
that
hey,
card was
fights are
just
fight.
that card was is it was
Hands
amazing.
down, the best one I've
But
ever seen in my life.
let's jump straight into this first fight of the night. We have Alessandro Costa versus Kevin Borjas. And as always, we will kick it over to Joey to start us off the night.
So this is going to be, I think this fight could play out two ways. Is if Costa can maybe control Bojas the whole fight, it's very possible because his takedown defense is poop. Or I think someone could get finished under 2.5. You know, I think Costa does have leaps in the grappling in this fight, and he might have takedown repeat and maybe get the back of Borjas. Or if Borjas stops the takedowns, there's a chance he might pepper up Costa and potentially TKO him before the final bell. And mainly for GPPs, this is one of your sides. You pick the 82 and the 8,000 fight. My lean right now is Costa. I think he's the more well-rounded guy. He has takedowns, he has decent striking, but he tries to throw overpower. But I think Costas is going to be the better fighter in this fight.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I can't get one of my websites to download or up, load, so I'm kind of getting frustrated here. But I'm right there with you. I'm not really ultra impressed by Borjas. I'm not really sure what to expect out of him, especially after he got completely annihilated by Joshua Van. And Costa is actually kind of a similar opponent, except that he has more power and he's got far better grappling. Um, I do fully expect Costa to win this fight. I expect him to finish this fight. It'll probably be a submission somewhere, probably the second or third round, because I think Borjas can survive a round. But yeah, I've definitely got Costa on this one. We are in Rio.
Also, I
There's
do
a lot
think
of Brazilian
if you
fighters,
want to
and
do
judges
also
are going
for
to
this
go.
fight, you named it as the more like a Costa by sub. One of the losses is by sub for Borja, so that's very
Mhm.
in the realms of possibility.
So both of us going with the favorite in this one in Costa, although it is just a slight favorite.
I hope he comes plus money. Wouldn't shock me.
Let's check it out real quick. Right now, he's minus 125 and up
Please go
to
to plus money.
about minus 140. So
Please go to plus money by the time the fight starts.
I don't think that you
He
will.
probably won't, but I'll probably just place inside the distance.
Yeah. So next up we have Ishmael Bonfim against Vince Pichel, and I will start this one off. I have Bonfim winning. I do think he is better all around. That said, Pichel has kind of shown that he can handle just about everything that's thrown at him. I honestly think that this is going to be a relatively boring fight. Their grappling is going to really cancel each other out. I don't think we're going to see a ton of it. I think it's going to be a lot of striking. Bonfim is definitely the better striker, but I'm not really sure there's going to be a finish in this fight. So, and if that's the case, you're looking at probably a sub 90 score, which will not be good enough for DFS. But I do have Bonfim.
You damn near just took off everything I just said. I'm also on Bonfim. I know this is his first fight back ever since his loss to Saint Denis. And look, you go back, you see how good Saint Denis really is. So you can take that with a grain of salt because Saint Denis is a real prospect. I do think this fight actually is going to play close in some spots, but like I said, I do think Bonfim overall wise will probably win a 29, 28, 30, 27 type decision. And it's more due to because I think Pichel could get taken down a tad bit more because, like I said, good offensively, defensively, a fish off
I
his
agree.
back.
I do agree. And you know what? We could see Bonfim go and land 5 takedowns. You really don't know. So I don't see Pichal winning this fight in any way. So both of us going with the favorite in Bonfim. Next up, we have two debuting fighters. Uh, I think her name is Dion, but I
Yeah,
could be wrong.
Dion
But Dion
Barbosa.
Barbosa and Ernesta Caracate, something like that. We're gonna call her Ernesta.
Okay.
Um, well, why don't you go ahead and lead us off on this one?
So I actually rewatched a couple of these girls' fights, which I got off early and not the greatest overhaul, but two lower women. Um, I actually think this fight could be sneaky because I think one of two things will happen. Either Barbosa gets a takedown because she's a very good judo specialist, meaning she'll have to get inside, get the trips, and get her takes down that way. And she leaps and bounds the better grappler, and it's not even close. I'll say that right now, not even close. Or Ernesta with her tall frame, long frames, stuffs at takedowns. And if you watch her last Contender Series fight, a lot of people said it was close. That girl has volumes for freaking days on the feet.
Mhm.
So this is one of my actual sneaky picks in this fight card. I'm going Ernesta. I think she can stuff the takedowns. I know everyone's like, oh, but level competition. Yeah, it's not great. But when I tell you, like, who's more well-rounded, it's Barbosa, yes. But the leaps, if she can't get to fight to the ground, the levels of difference in striking is so absolutely insane. Because I think, ideally, people use the terms for this for grapplers. I think she's a grappling nerd. You could see this girl go for bus scoots like Claudio Plies did if she doesn't get her way. I just, I'm actually going to Ernesta, and she's actually one of my favorite dogs I'm paying for.
Yeah, I can't really fault you for that by any means. I'm gonna read you my article real quick for this fight.
Okay.
I literally came out and said, I said both fighters are making their debuts. Barbosa is a credentialed grappler and she'll have the edge on the mat, while Ernesto will have a considerable edge on the feet. Um, I also went on to say that Ernesta has solid takedown defense as displayed in her uh, contender series fight, and I expect Barbosa to get tired and frustrated from those takedowns getting stuffed. And I also have the dog winning and potentially finishing this fight early. No. So both of us are going with the dog in this
Bro,
fight.
this was one I thought you were gonna be on Barbosa. I swear on my life. I
So
was telling Howard about it.
there is a slight problem if it does go to
The Matt.
the cards, and it's a really
Brazil.
close fight. They are in Brazil. Barbosa is the Brazilian fighter, and we know how judges can be. So just take that with a grain of salt. Next up, we have Mauricio Ruffy against Jamie Malarkey. Ruffy is making his debut after a rather solid contender series fight. He is actually a very well-rounded. Well, I wouldn't really say he's well-rounded. I'd say he's a very polished fighter. I know he has a little grappling and wrestling in his back pocket. He does not use it. Pretty good takedown defense, and he's got a lot of power. Jamie Malarkey, if he is smart, which he's not, he will take this down to the mat and he will keep him there. But Jamie Malarkey makes a lot of really dumb decisions when it comes to MMA, so you can't really trust him. I've got Ruffy by knockout.
All right, so the crazy thing is, yes, you said from the Contender Series, he was actually a plus 180 dog in that fight. And, you know, he stuffed most takedowns. And one thing I'll say is this is gonna be, like I said, Malarkey's smart, he will wrestle. And if he does wrestle, his value at his price tag couldn't be worth it. I'll say that right now. If he survives the whole fight, which I don't think he will. Because I tell people this, once your chin gets softer, it just nothing you can do about it. Um, Ruffy, this fight can be close. If you watch how the first fight was, he actually started finding his range later into round two, going into round three. And I think, in the bigger cage, I think Malarkey can try to play an outside striking game, just a T bit, work into leg kicks, and maybe try to give takedowns. But I'm also on Ruffy. He's 100% finisher. Um, 7 of his 9 wins in round one, and then only a couple two or one in round two, one round three. So, and I'll say this for FanDuel. I don't play FanDuel. like I said, how I just said he has 7 of his 9 wins in round 1 by KO. He could be a decent potential low. You think he'll be low owner for captain?
I don't know. Hard to say. Well, for captain, probably, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm thinking he has the chance if he goes out there and bull rushes Malarkey, he can knock him out in 6 seconds.
Well, and I mean, you got to look at it. Malarkey's lost 7 times in his record, and 5 of those have come by way of knockout. So, I mean,
3 of them are inside the first 2 rounds.
doesn't really have much of a chin, but we will leave it at that. Both of us going with the favorite in Mauricio Ruffy making his debut. Next up, we got Joaquim Silva against Drakkar Close. And who you got in this one?
I'll say this right now. The only way I even see Silva win this fight, he better knock him out. That's to me is his only real chance in this fight. Close, you know, I honestly thought the way if you look at the two, I thought Close is still a younger guy. Oh yeah, he still has years behind him. I didn't know he was the older guy. So I was like, okay, but he didn't look old in his last fight though. He actually looked pretty good. I'm going Close in this fight. I think Close can be the more minute winner. I think he can get the takedowns with no problem. And honestly, Silva in his fights, he has 3 losses in the UFC, all by knockout. I think there's chance Close can maybe get on top, get a ground and pound TKO at some point, maybe be a decent, good low option at 8,700.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. There is a big worry in your with Close, and you had already mentioned it. Joaquim Silva does have good power, and he actually also has a pretty good grappling game. He does train out of American Top Team, so he knows what the
Yep.
fuck he's doing. Um, I mean, what we could see is Close takes him down, and Silva reverses it and submits him. I mean, Close has
Big
never been
rounds.
submitted before, but just one of those things to watch out for. I do have Close. I don't expect a super high score unless there is a finish in this fight. I'm not really sure how I'm going to play this one yet, but I do have Close. So both of us going with the favorite in that fight as well. Next up, we got Jean Silva against William Gomez. Um, so Gomez he's been so far in the UFC, he's been very slippery. He's won 3 fights. He hasn't scored well in any of those fights. He also hasn't exactly fought anybody, and you could make an argument that Jean Silva is also still a bit of a nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that said, I actually really like Silva in this fight. I think that he has the advantage on the feet so long as he can connect with Gomez, which nobody has really been able to do yet. I think that changes here. Um, I also think that Silva will be the one more likely to score a takedown. So I really like Silva in this fight, and I will probably be playing him in DFS.
Okay. One thing I will say, I think one thing I've learned, and I think I played him at even his lowest salary in one of his fights. Even his low salary in the decision, he's not scoring shit.
Gomez?
Yes, he's not scoring
Yeah, no.
shit.
He does. He does. That's what I'm
Look,
saying. He doesn't
if
score at all.
uh, my pick is Gomez, though, I'm gonna be honest with you. It is because if you tell me it was a smaller cage, I think I can maybe try to rely on Silva, try to cut it out more easier. Only thing he's gonna have to really worry about is the overpower hand and look for a takedown. Gomez takedown defense has been pretty solid for the most. And people say, "Oh, but his offensive takedowns." If I'm him, I don't see him. If he wants to go take down late, maybe to try to secure a round, okay, I can see it possibly. But I honestly think he's just gonna circle, and try to volume. Circle,
He
pop.
doesn't have volume.
Hey, he's a defensive striker, low volume, but here's what I think is gonna happen though. My pick is Gomes, right? But I think this fight, and I learned I don't play neither side in a Gomez fight for shit. But my other worry is, and this is where I think your pick could happen for at least for a win. You've seen when you're going against some French guys, they're low volume to counter any other race except for you see Mexican, everyone else. Hey, hey, the excitement, just the overall corner building it up for the judges. Oh yeah, that was excitement going in, being the more exciting fighter, even if he doesn't land clean. It wouldn't shock, especially in Brazil. So I could probably see a split decision happen in this fight.
I think you're crazy.
Hey, I predicted some good predictions last week when I did some predictions.
All right, that is the first fight we are split on. I have Jean Silva. Joey's got William Gomez.
Wait, that's only our first one?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay.
Next up, we have Elvis Brenner against Midtebek Orobai. And who do you have in this one?
So I'll be honest, and you can probably back me up on this. Any fight with Elvis Brenner, I haven't got right. I think I picked against him all 3 times. No, wait. No, I picked him against Costa. That's a lie. I picked him against for a second fight. But for the most part, I have not got Brenner right for shit. Because I think, oh yeah, he's just using his striking to get to the grappling because that's his bread and butter. But he's letting his hands fly on everybody now. I remember you told me about Orbai before he made his debut, and you were hot. I know you love Medic, but you like, bro, I'm not picking Medic to save my life. It's like, why? I'm like, see, Orbai's line is tiny. Put mad money on it. I'm like, mad money? He's like, trust me, mad money. I think I put at least 4 or 5 units on his appearance prop alone. And Drake yelled at me, said, no, you gotta take the money line. But when he finished, I screamed like a whole woman. So look, I'm going Orbai. I'm not picking against that scary looking dude. He's probably look. The funny thing is, he's probably one of the nicest dudes that we don't even know personally, but he's scary as shit in the octagon. And the crazy thing is, Medic land clean on him, and you see he just knocked out Tim Means. He couldn't knock out Orbai, and Orbai ate the punches.
So this is going to be another one where we are split. I am going again with Elvis Brenner. I
Ooh,
and there's a big reason for that. So Orobai against Medic, he obviously he was getting outstruck. Not that there was a lot of striking, but it was primarily chain takedown, keep him on the mat, chain takedown, keep him on the mat, and then until he eventually submitted him. You're gonna have a tough time submitting Elvis Brenner, and you're probably gonna have a tough time trying to chain takedowns against him. In fact, I see Orobai coming forward and either getting knocked out or put immediately into a submission. Uh, this is honestly, I think this is Orobai's biggest fight to date,
mm-hmm.
and I'm not going to go against Brenner until Brenner shows me that he can't do it. Every time he gets placed as a dog, he comes through. And I think it's going to be the same way in this one. Or this, like I said, it's Orobai's biggest fight, and I like Brenner to get this done by finish.
Ooh, okay, so that's 2.
So we
But this
are
fight's
split.
gonna be electric, though. That's all I'll tell people. This fight's gonna be
Probably.
electric.
So both of us are split on that one as well. Joey's got Orobai, and I have Elvis Brenner. Next up, we have Carolina Kovalevich against Yasmin Lucindo. Kovalevich has kind of reinvented herself a tiny little bit. She has 139 and 141 strikes in back-to-back fights. That said, good luck doing that against Lucindo, and good luck getting off your back against Lucindo. I've got Lucindo by probably ground and pound knockout.
Ooh, you can probably get some good odds on that one. Um, look, I'm not going against Storm from X-Men.
Yeah,
No,
no shit.
look, I can't do it. I think the only fight I did was when she actually lost her short nose debut against you know her name.
Yasmin Yaogui or
Yeah,
Yaogai.
Yagui or whatever the hell her name is.
But yes.
But yeah, ever since that, I'm like, no, I'm not going against Lucindo. Even though I almost picked Lucindo's opponent afterwards, the girl from Ultimate Fighter, and she absolutely mollywopped her, and then her last fight just easy bread butter. But yeah, I'm
Yeah.
also going to be on Lucindo. But I think this is going to be a chance early in this fight that the action could be close.
Mhm.
Like I said, Carolina's actually evolving her game at the age that she's at. And, Lucindo, this is probably her bigger name to date. So, 2 things are going to show in this fight. I still think Lucindo wins. It could be maybe a later TKO. I could see it, especially if Carolina does slow down. Um, but I think Lucindo is probably going to get this on Marlene is more Lucindo on the scorecard. But without a type of finish, I don't know if Lucindo will pay off 92, especially the other 9K price tags are
I agree with
they're
that.
going to be coming up.
Definitely a possibility. But both of us going with the favorite in Lucindo in that fight. Next up, we have the return of Jack Shore going against Joe Anderson Brito. And who do you got in this one?
I didn't even know this was a fight until today, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Shore's going up weight. So, well, Shore. Look, I'll say this right now: before Shore lost his first fight, everyone was praising him to be the next big thing coming up. I still think he's good. I really do. Brito. He was getting taken down a lot by old boy at Onama beat Jonathan Pierce. Um, but Burrito's like, all right, this countryman's gonna keep talking shit. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna get him. And what happened? He caught him with the sub. Um, I'm actually going Jack Shore. I think the striking could be close. I think Shore can maybe be the faster volume, but Brito is definitely gonna be the more dangerous fighter on the feet, especially with his power and combinations. And you've seen in Brito, Brito can get taken down, and Jack Shore does have decent takedowns. And he's strong on top. I don't know if he'll get a finish on Brito, but at 7,700, I think he can get at least, if he mixes it in clearly, maybe 4 to 5 takedowns with some decent control. And I think he could definitely pay off that 77.
Yeah, I'm gonna be opposite of you on this one. I have Brito. I love Jack Shore. I have actually I'm pretty sure I've taken him in every fight
Yep.
except for maybe the Ricky Simon fight. I'm pretty sure I would have taken Simon there.
Yeah, I took
But
Shore.
Jack Shore is an extremely good fighter. He's very underrated. He's very polished. The only problem that I have with this fight is that Joe Anderson Burrito has got to be one of the scariest fighters in the UFC right now. That dude is just dangerous and always live. Um, I I think that Burrito probably makes this a very scary knockout as he's done before.
Yeah, that
Or,
would
you know,
be.
he's a little ridiculous. So um I like yeah, I like Brito for everything. He's too cheap on DraftKings.
85.
In any type of win, he is probably going to completely smash that. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the optimal again, but we shall see. So we are split on that one. I have Joe
But
Anderson
before I did
Brito.
make my pick, though, I did circle this fight as I think you need to get this fight right. Because if Jack Shore can take down and control, I think he can definitely pay off 77. But as you said for Brito, if Brito's going to win, I honestly do think that he could finish Shore somewhere in this fight. Either catch Shore on the chin with overextending, or when Shore does sometimes enter sloppy, he could get a rear naked just like he did against Pierce. So that was my biggest thing on this fight. I think someone's going to look good and then take over.
Definitely. So we are split on that one. I've got Brito. Joey's got Jack Shore. Next up, we are over to the main card where we have the ever annoying Paul Craig against Chow Barallo. And at this point, you know exactly what you're getting with Paul Craig. It's pretty much submission or bust, and he just likes to throw himself out there and look stupid half the time. So I can no longer trust him in any fight, and I don't think he's better than Barallo. Anyways, I've got Barallo knocking him out in this fight.
So one thing I will say in this fight, I know everyone says, "Oh, Barallo really hasn't shown too much," and "Oh, Barallo's not a killer inside the UFC." I'll say this right now: is this his bigger name to date? Yes, by name, yeah, probably. But if Barallo really wants to make a bigger splash, you got to finish Paul Craig. I don't know if he'll get through it by sub. Like I said, I think if he wants to do it easy, honestly, he can bull rush Paul Craig, and
Mhm.
I'm not
I
gonna say he's
agree.
gonna get under a minute. He's not gonna do. He's probably not gonna do that unless he goes out insane, which I think he's capable of doing. But is he gonna do it? Probably not. But I really do like Barala by knockout, probably within the first 2 rounds. Hopefully, my guess probably first round because
Yeah, if
Paul
it goes
Craig.
into third round, he's not paying off his tag at
No,
9,500.
you need him within under 1.5 at least, right? Hit or miss.
Just anywhere in
But
the second round,
okay,
as long as it's before the third round.
yeah.
Because the second round, you still get that 70-point bonus. And sometimes for the guys that throw more or have takedowns, the second round is almost always better because they've got two full rounds of stats to go with 70-point knockouts. So
Mhm.
both of us
I don't know
going
if
with.
Barala's gonna. I think Barala's just gonna keep it on the feet, honestly, bro. That's all he might just do.
I agree. So both of us going with Barallo. We both expect him to do very well. Next up, we have Michel Pereira against Ior Poteria. Poteria got his first win last time out. Joey, do you think he gets another one?
I thought that was the second one
Not for, sorry, it's the second.
because
I
he
forgot he
unfortunately
beat
beat my boy.
Shogun.
Unfortunately, he beat my boy, and then he went through all the J check. No, J check.
Right
Michelle,
check.
yeah, him. He ran through him like I knew he would. Honestly, I think he's gonna do it again. I really like. I know Ehor is well rounded. Could he try to go for a takedown? I don't think he gets it on Pereira personally. I think Michelle's gonna keep history going at 185. I think there's a good chance he gets him out of round one. I really do. And usually I hate paying up for the high price. I always tell you, no, I'm avoid it. No, I'm gonna try to get leverage off it. But I'm locking in Pereira on everything. I think he's gonna
Yeah,
absolutely run
I
through Terry
agree.
that one.
Pateria tends to get finished. Well, he gets finished in every loss pretty much. And the way that I see this happening is Pateria likes to walk in, Pereira likes to sit back, and he's just going to get stunned and then fucked up. So Pereira is one of my favorite plays on the card. He's
Yep.
unfortunately 9,600. There's going
I
to be
don't
a
care.
lot of people with that same mindset. But definitely both of us going with Pereira.
Easily.
So next up, we have Anthony Smith, who I wish would stop fighting, and Vitor Petrino. At this point, I'm very fully convinced that Anthony Smith can only beat Ryan Spann, and it's because they have so much beef. He just magically becomes Superman in that fight. Um, I think Anthony Smith is returning way too soon. I know December is, a few months ago, but that knockout from Roundtree was disgusting. And I don't think he's going to get knocked out in this one, mainly because Petrino's a wrestler for the most part. He does have power, so I mean, it could definitely happen.
Mhm.
But I think that Petrino scores one of the higher points on the slate because Anthony Smith is just going to be in hell the entire fight. It's going to be a mix of chain to takedowns, control time, and strikes, and then potentially an early finish because Smith is old and at this point has no chin.
One thing I'm actually gonna see what the odds are after this after we do it. But my pick is also Petrino. I'll tell you right now, and I think honestly you gotta decide between Pereira, Petrino. I mean, you can maybe get two if you do like other dogs on the card. So you're gonna have to decide between those two and then go from the bottom, work your way back up. But I think Petrino, like I said, I actually have written down Petrino has a very good chance to score the highest with takedowns, control, and absolute volume. And I said, what if he gets a potential sneaky submission? Look, Smith gives up a lot of shit, bro. It could be like when he's in either side mount or full
He's only
mount.
got one submission win though.
Dude, I'm talking. What if you got like an arm triangle, bro? Got it right in. Boom. And if I get that right, I'm gonna go bananas. But I think a sneaky play, I'm probably gonna sprinkle because it's probably high as shit. I'm going to probably do Petrino by sub. And I'm mad, dude. I forgot to put the ticket in for Silva. I told you how she was gonna go decision. Her decision prop was high as shit.
Well, both of us very high on Vitor Petrino, as I expect the majority of the world will be. Next up, we have the return and the unretired Jose Aldo coming back to fight in Rio, Brazil against Jonathan Martinez. And Joey, I'm not going to assume who you are on this fight, so let's hear what you got.
Look, if someone tells me they're not a fan of Jose Aldo, I think you need to stop watching MMA. He was one of the more exciting guys that I loved watching when he got in WEC, and then trends kept going up and up. I don't know why he's coming back. I honestly believe he does have nothing left to prove. Maybe he just,
I think he
look,
just misses the ring.
he probably does. He could probably kick a lot of people's asses. I think if he does win this fight, I'm curious on the matchups you give him. But I'll say this about Martinez: he better get the finish because I'll tell you right now, if this fight's even the closest type of competitive, you know who's going to. My heart's saying Auto, but I think Martinez is going to catch him. Maybe against a cage and maybe catch him. Because like I said, I don't think Auto is going to lose a decision. I really don't, unless Martinez is absolutely makes him look like needs to stay retired. But yeah, I'm on Martinez.
Yeah, I know there is a lot of people on Aldo. I am not one of them.
No.
I do have Jonathan Martinez. What Jonathan Martinez has shown me over his six fight streak is that he is ready for the best.
Yes,
He after his knockout of Adrian Yanez, I said, "Holy shit,
which I picked.
he is legit. He looks phenomenal. His kicks are disgusting, and he's got a lot of pop in his hands. He's very patient. He sits back. He throws when he's supposed to. He's got good volume. There's nothing to not like about this guy. It is tough to go against Jose, but I've got Jonathan Martinez.
And before we get to the main event, I'll say this right now. I firmly believe if Martinez does what me and you both expect, he's going to be the best value on this card.
Mm,
One of the best at 8,300. If he does what I think firmly
I'll
he's
say
going to do,
one of the best. I'm not
one
going to
of,
say
not the
the
best. Not the best. Just, I think, honestly, hmm,
yeah.
I don't know.
So
One of the best.
both of us going with Jonathan Martinez. Next up, we have the main event with Alexander Pantoja and Steven Erceg, Astro Boy Erceg. And there is a lot of people saying that Erceg doesn't deserve this fight. I know where they're coming from. I get it. I, I'm not really sure how it happened. I was honestly very happy that it happened. I have been on him since he came into the UFC. I'm a big fan of his. And aside from any of my fan bias that I have, I do think he can hang in this fight. What he has shown is that he is more than capable of hanging in with, I'm pretty sure, any fighter. He has never been finished. He's only got one loss. It came in a very close decision. He knows how he's got pop in his hands. He's got solid grappling that we haven't even really seen yet. And I expect we're going to see all of that on display. I understand why Pantoja is, the favorite. He's got the belt. This is going to be his second title defense in a row. He's fought all of the best in the division. Um, but I'm going Erceg. I've got Astroboy. I think he pulls this out. Even in a close fight, this could be one of those ones where he could get screwed over in a decision. But I think he can do enough in this fight to finish Pantoja for the first time in Pantoja's career.
Yeah, I got to go after a boy, bro. So honestly, I'm not even trying to sound biased. I know the whole time, but one thing he answered a lot of, questions with, oh, can he even strike? You can ask Max Snell if he can strike.
Yeah, no
But
kidding.
get that. Whew. But one thing I will say, I think this fight's gonna be competitive early. And we've seen how if you go back to watch Pantoja's fights, early he's in it. He throws a lot of heavy stuff, try to muscle, take you down. Then later on, what happens? He tends to slow down. Does he stop coming forward? No, but he does slow down. I think from what I've seen, Erceg, I haven't seen him have no cardio issues. We haven't seen him get rocked yet. And honestly, I think he's gonna submit him. I really do. I think it could be off maybe Pantoja getting lazy and he gets rocked and tries to shoot. I think Erceg's gonna submit him. I really do. Maybe not early, maybe between like if you do the props rounds 3, 4, 5. I think it's probably gonna be probably within those rounds.
In the
But,
championship rounds, yeah, for sure.
mhm. But yeah, like originally I was like, okay, something's crazy because Pantoja. I've been on Pantoja the whole time, and I don't know, man. Cable Man Steve keeps pulling it off, man. And I think we're gonna hear in Brazil, and then we're gonna get a lot of boos. But we're gonna hear and no!
I just can't wait to say that Astro Boy has the belt.
Man, you're gonna fanboy him like I do Cerrone.
So both of us are locked into Steve Erceg. And with that said, RotoWire, I am also the only one on Erceg when it comes to the RotoWire staff picks. That's also not really much of a surprise,
Damn.
but that wraps up UFC at 301. And, I'm really just looking forward to a few fights. The main event is absolutely one of them.
Yep.
This is where we're, he gets to show the world. So, um, he'll go in there, prove everybody wrong. And if anything, if he even keeps the fight close and he loses the decision, he still showed that he is more than capable of fighting at the top of the division. And if that's the case, then he's gonna. I mean, win or lose, he's gonna have a date with probably Brandon Moreno would be my guess.
Yeah,
Um,
that or
so
about Bowsy maybe.
so yeah, one of those guys, definitely something to look forward to. Next card is on the 11th with Derek Lewis and Rodrigo
Ugh.
Nascimento. That's going to be a very pitiful fight where we see Lewis flopping on his back the entire time. There is a
That's no
fight on
good.
that card that I wanted to bring up though, because Rebelis Despania is back, and that could be another 60-second KO. So that's something to look forward
Wait, who's
to.
back?
Despania,
The Spania. Spania who?
Robelis Despania,
Oh, okay, never mind. I was like,
the guy
who?
that knocked out Josh Parisian in 18 seconds
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh
in
yeah.
his
He's going
in,
against
in his
Cortez, right?
debut. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So, um, yeah, that wraps things up. Joey, unless you got anything else, we'll sign off. All right. Well, as always, appreciate you watching and good luck on Saturday.